You saw the same comment I did?
Which one?
This one here. Stop being mean to me. I'm only 8. I'm sorry, Emmanuel. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean. But that doesn't mean I have to be nice to the Flames. I'm sorry, Emmanuel.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, what do we think? It's kind of an up and down period, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think someone should buy stocks in Black and Decker blenders, because Talkit clearly, I just am at a loss when it comes to this. Like, enough. We got to stop dumping on the players. Like, Lecker comes out, Oman comes in. Fine. Instead of bumping Sherwood up and putting Oman on the fourth line, leaving it like that, Oman plays the fourth line with Bluger and Sherwood. So that breaks up the Bluger, Garland, and Joshua line and puts them with Suter. Okay, fine. Bottom 6, a little shuffle. Nope. Then we got to take Hedel, give him 2 different wingers from last night, and Besser and O'Connor, and then we take Petey and give him DeBrusk and Hoglander. The only 2 forwards that played together last night, and pretty much for a while now, are Garland and Joshua. How, in God's name, is this team supposed to find any chemistry offensively at all when this is game 65 and Talkit has the lines that fucking chaotic? I'm sorry. I am fed up. I cannot watch that anymore. It is no wonder they can't get the puck to the net. They can't generate anything 5-on-5. The power play looked pretty good. It got a good look from Hughes to Garland, but then after that was garbage. Thank God Suter got that second shot through, because really, other than that, not much at all being generated by our team. And I wonder why. It's the same with the defense too. Marcus Pettersson, playing his offside tonight, miscommunicates with a rookie defender who's playing his strong side, but is playing elevated minutes because we don't really have anyone in, because Myers all of a sudden takes a shot last night, can't go tonight. And Marcus Pettersson gets burned by Kadri up the middle because he's playing his offside and not communicating properly with his D partner, who's another new guy tonight. Like, it's just, we wonder why this team is failing. Talkit is why this team is failing, and his system. You cannot be at this point of the season and still be shuffling the lines this badly. It is crazy. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
You should stop taking those, Dustin.
I can't defend him anymore. I don't care if he won the Jack Adams last year. The 2 coaches that got fired were the offensive coaches. JT Miller had 103 points last year, and Brock Besser had 41 points last year. Those 2 coaches are the only coaches that are gone off the staff, and suddenly our offense sucks. What changed? The coaching staff.
Yeah, you're probably right. Good rant, Dustin.
God,
that's a good start.
I'm so sick of the fans just picking on the players and being like, they need to do more. They are not being given the opportunity to succeed or do more.
I was listening to the radio this morning, and it's Halford and Bruff in the morning, and they're just like, oh, well, Petey's got 2 goals, but they're both on the power play. It's like, shut the fuck up. What do you want? Who cares of what they are? He's the only one who's scoring. So shut up. And I, you know what? Part of me does understand. Part of me does, because they have been covering this team for so long. They have clearly lost their minds in complete, like, they're just bitter, angry individuals. And I used to think they were like happy-go-lucky, like really easygoing guys. No, they hate themselves, they hate their jobs, and they hate where their life has taken them as they cover the Canucks for all these years. But my goodness, like, it doesn't matter what Pettersson does, everyone's going to poop on his face.
Yep, exactly. And it's the next guy down the line. It's like, oh, Besser's been the whipping boy for this week, and then next week it'll be DeBrusk, and the week after that it'll be Hronek, and the week after that it'll be someone else. Like, it's just crazy to me the way we support this team.
I didn't see it. It was one of the Pedersons. Who hit Kadri? Because it looked on the one replay that looked like it was DPD, and the other one it looked like it was EP40. Which one? Who was it?
That was my boy DPD. I've been waiting for the kid to do that since he came up. He was doing that in the AHL. He really likes that open ice hit. He does it clean. He looked for it a couple times. A couple games ago, I saw him try and throw a hip check, but he hadn't connected yet. But that's one thing that he's really good at doing, is timing up those open ice hits. And you can see that he's good at keeping it clean when he connects. So we need more of that out of the kid for sure. And that's one of the positives that he brings to his game. And then also we saw Mancini with some good board work, some body work as well tonight. So that's really good stuff out of our young defensemen. They play that physical style and make it tough on the forwards who are forechecking to come in and want to play aggressive.
I guess the other up you could give out today is, Dakota Joshua, despite the fact that he hasn't scored yet, he still looks like he is he's getting there, right? Like he's getting to spots, he's getting chances, he's digging pucks out. He made a hit, created a chance. So I feel like Dakota Joshua has one on his stick tonight. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, maybe if he had his centerman who he has had chemistry with for the last year and a half, he'd probably maybe bury one tonight. But instead, he's got Suter out there, so.
Classic Suter.
I'm so bitter about it, man. When I saw how badly the lines were mixed through tonight, I was just like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah. Well, when I saw the lineup come out earlier today, and I was like, oh, they went back to how they started the last game, which I thought was weird because they had changed the lines mid-game. But then literally 20 minutes before puck drop, they're like, oh, and warm up, this is the lines, and it was all completely different. I'm like, okay, I guess, who knows what we're talking about now.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
This is the game of the year, Dustin. This is bigger than any game the Canucks have played so far this year. I saw a tweet out from Noah Strang, and it says, today is the biggest game of the season for the Canucks so far. If they beat the Flames, their playoff odds jump from 9.3 to 33%. If they lose to the Flames, their playoff odds drop from 8.3 to 8.3 from 16.1.
Yeah, you don't love to see that type of stuff. And even the loss last night, I think, dropped them 10% from 43.6 to 33.6. So every game is important, but when you have these 4-point games, obviously they mean that much more. And it doesn't get any easier from here. I think they got Vegas and Dallas, and Vegas twice, I think, Dallas and Colorado down the stretch. So this is the game. Like, if they don't win tonight, Calgary has a game in hand and is going to be 3 points up on us in the wild card race. With the difficulty of our schedule going forward, it's going to be tough to be confident that the Canucks will get there.
Right. I feel like they're doing okay so far tonight, but it also just I don't know. It is the night too big for them, or like, because even last night you heard Coach Tocchet talking about how maybe they're squeezing their sticks a little bit. And I kind of maybe see that a little bit. Are you seeing the same thing, or am I just reading too much into that?
I think it could be getting put in their head a little bit. And obviously there are going to be nerves, but again, it's the difficulty and confusion of constantly playing with somebody else every night. Like, there's got to be nights where you're yelling the wrong name. Like when you're out there on the ice and being like, oh, I didn't see your number. Like, sorry. Right? Like it all comes back to like constantly having someone different out there with you. You just can't get a flow going. And it just felt like, as much as the Canucks were kind of pressing there and got the goal, like they just don't have any flow.
7 shots in the period is not bad, but they also gave up 12. They're getting beat on the faceoff dot by the Flames, almost 56% loss, right? So yeah, there's definitely I don't know. Do we need someone to just step out there? Does Dakota need to take his fists and stop trying to score and punch someone in the face, like start a fight, or how do we get this game of year on the right track?
Another big hit, maybe from one of the boys, and then if we do get a scrum happening like the last one, then we make something out of it and show we care. It's so frustrating right now. I'm frustrated. I can almost feel the players' frustration. Like, that would be so frustrating, constantly playing with someone different. Especially when you feel like you have a bit of a connection with a guy and he keeps getting moved off your line. Like, and then your coach is asking you for consistency, and it's like, well, how about some consistency from you? And it sends a weird message. There's like a weird double standard and almost hypocritical message coming from Talkit a lot of nights.
Post Miller puck luck. And it's funny because in Vancouver Canucks have been constantly shit on for being too high in the PDO standings, aka essentially puck luck. But again, from Noah Strang, he's putting all the stats out today. Since JT Miller trade, the Vancouver Canucks rank 29th in PDO. They're a much more respectable 14th in CF percentage and 12th in goals for percentage. The process has been better than the results. The puck luck has not been going their way in dramatic reversal of last season. Does that kind of like validate everything we've been talking about? Because literally the Canucks have been playing good, solid hockey and just have not been getting any luck whatsoever. And I think these stats are, just backing up everything we've been talking about.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a weird season. Sometimes you make your own luck by playing the right way and being in the right positions and playing with consistency. This year, yeah, it's evening out for sure. And when you have so-called luck statistics, they're always going to kind of even out at some point. You can't always get the bounces, but we saw it last night, right? Like 4 or 5 posts and then the Joshua goal. It's just it just feels like it's been a year of inches or just like pucks missing or hitting the post and hitting the post in a way that it doesn't go in the net. It goes straight out or off to the side. And it's just, been one of those definite years where it feels like the luck is against us. But then again, with the way the Canucks have played, does it really feel like some nights that we deserve the bounces? And that's where it's like, ugh, yeah, we haven't got the bounces, but we also haven't played great hockey that is conducive of where the bounces kind of end up. There's usually a guy in that spot, and this year, we've seen it from game one. The structure has struggled to be in the right spots when they need to be.
Well, it's crazy because if you look at after every game, there's a couple different statistics guys who put out the deserve to win meter, and they do it based on all the stats and stuff like that. The last 2 games, the Canucks deserve to win has been at 75%, and they lost both those games.
Yep.
So
and I see a comment here from a Matt. Like, what I was trying to say was a lot of the puck luck and getting good bounces come from being there first, winning the puck battles, and having speed and placement, like where you are on the ice and its structure. And again, like, we never know who's playing right wing, left wing, who they're playing with. So pretty tough to eliminate some of those variables when you are playing with that kind of inconsistency.
Well, how about we try something new? How about we try Petey as a shutdown center like they did with Miller last year? Because if you look at the stats coming out from last game, that top line for Montreal was running over every single line for the Vancouver Canucks, except when Elias Pettersson was on the ice. When Elias Pettersson was on the ice, their average performance dropped by like 50 to 70%. Do we need to start looking at that? Like, everyone's like, Petey needs to score and Petey needs to score. How about we start looking at him as the shutdown guy?
I mean, he's always been defensively responsible. That's something I was harping on from the beginning of the season when he was struggling offensively. It makes him valuable. He earns his value in other ways when he can't quite put the puck in the back of the net. And one of those ways he earns it is being one of the leading forwards on the team every season in blocked shots. He's working very hard. You can tell he's been working very hard in the last month on his faceoffs, because those have improved dramatically. Last night won some very key faceoffs in the offensive zone, which was one of the reasons why his line was able to keep possession against that Caulfield line. Yeah, absolutely. Petey makes sense to be one of the shutdown centers out there, but then that was the issue is where's our line driving offensive guy? Like, who's going to put the team on the back and do that? And then at that point, you're asking Petey to do both. And that's kind of what everyone's kind of been asking him in the first place, is to do both. It's like, okay, well, do you want him to be defensively responsible and shut down all the other team's best guys, or do you want him to be a little more selfish and play a little more like the rookie Pettersson we saw, that carries the puck, beats a couple defensemen, and goes for the net? I really don't think he's allowed to be that Pettersson in the Tocchet system. No one, I mean, we already see Heedle's zone entries changing unless he's already by the defender and knows he's the only guy going. When he's rushing now with his lines, he's pretty much stopping up at the top of the circle, either looking for that pass into the middle or out of the middle to the winger, or they're circling back on the boards and looking for the defenseman. And it's just, we were so excited when he came over because of how well he carried the puck into the other end, and now we're right back at square one. It didn't take Tocchet long to ruin that guy either.
I was going to say that's kind of what you were talking about when he first came onto the team. But we see Heedle's zone entries and offensive ability kind of drop off, then it's going to be solely placed on the shoulders of that bald mother trucker.
Yes, sir. Very egomaniacal for him to not ever take responsibility for a lot of the downfall this year. And I think that comes from also management. I think their egos are too big to admit that their guy is not the right guy, because of the way they unceremoniously fired Boudreau, much to the chagrin of fans, and then brought in their guy Tocchet, and he was going to fix everything and fix the country club and make it all structured and system, and it's not looking like he's the answer anymore. And they haven't really been public about much of the contract stuff, and I really would be surprised if he's back again next season.
We'll get to the Abbey Canucks as they're just getting underway in the post-game show, as they're just getting the puck drop out there in Abbotsford right now.
Sounds good.
Cool,
Enjoy
buddy.
the rest of the game, and we'll talk to you post-game.
Nothing is perfect.